Deep dives and blue skies. Welcome back to Talking Blue with Nick, the best Dodgers analytical podcast that you can find. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Talking Blue, the best Dodgers analytical podcast that you can find. I am your host, Nick. Today you're listening to episode 50 of Talking Blue. Today we're going to recap the Dodgers and the Cardinals series that just wrapped up. As you can tell by the tone of my voice, I am not happy. So we're going to get to a lot of stuff. I didn't recap the Rays and the Dodgers series. I had issues with my video and audio and stuff. Didn't save, so I just had to scrap the video. So I haven't talked to you guys in a little while. We're going to recap a lot of stuff. Some injury updates. We'll go through these games, talk about some of the players. This series had a chance to be fun, but the Dodgers wanted to make it not fun. So as always, you can get this podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can follow us on all social media at Talkin' Blue Pod. Follow myself at Talkin' Blue Nick. And on Reddit, competitive-week8715. Didn't even throw on a real shirt today. I'm upset. Just up until like 45 minutes ago, I was ready to get on here. Happy pod. Sum up the series. That is not the case. So before we get into it, let's do some injury updates. Kike Hernandez, left elbow inflammation. Hasn't been responding well to treatment, but he finally has. It will be some time before he ramps up, but it does look like he will return. So he's key for the bench. Roki Sasaki, this is interesting. Haven't talked about Roki in a long time, it feels. He has continued to throw bullpen sessions. He just threw a simulated 3-inning game. He will then go on a rehab assignment. So really interesting stuff from Roki Sasaki. What are they going to do with him? Does he go to the pen? He's supposedly added a two-seamer. The stuff feels good, so that's really interesting. Michael Kopech has continued to throw some bullpens after coming off of that right knee surgery. And about 2 more bullpens. He'll then graduate to facing hitters, so probably a September timeline for him. Tanner Scott, more bullpens. He'll need 2 more bullpens, just like Michael Kopech, before he can face hitters. So they're probably on a very similar timeline. Tommy Edman. So in my video that I originally recorded recapping the Rays series, Tommy Edman got injured in that Rays series. It's the same ankle that he's had all year. I believe it's plagued him all year. Kind of been the reason that his numbers dropped off mightily since basically April. He re-injured it, went on the IL. The Dodgers are going to give him some time. It's probably the right thing to do. There's been times throughout the year that it's gotten in a much better place, but he just continues to re-injure it. So the best thing they can do is probably give him the rest of August off. And hopefully he can really put some of that stuff behind him. Hae-Sung Kim wasn't necessarily close to coming back from the shoulder. Kirby Yates also went on the IL during the Tampa series. Lower back tightness. There's not really any update on him. And that's pretty much it from all the other guys. So, of course, a lot of roster moves have happened. I haven't had a chance to talk about Alex Freeland. Blake Trinan has come back. We've obviously seen Brock Stewart and Alex Call make their debuts with the Dodgers. They made their stamp on this series. So let's go ahead and get into Game 1. So Game 1, Monday night, Dodgers versus Cardinals. It was Tyler Glasnow versus Sonny Gray. I didn't get a chance to preview this series, but if I would have mentioned to you guys that Sonny Gray dominates the Dodgers in his career. Has an ERA and the 2.3s, I believe, in his entire career versus the Dodgers. So the Cardinals got on the board first in the second inning. Mason Wynn, who's been really hot for them, he homers to left field. Cardinals go up 1-0. Then in the fourth, Freddie Freeman, he homers. So his power surge continues, ties up the game 1-1. No offense all the way until the top of the 8th. Tyler Glasnow and Sonny Gray shut down each lineup. Ivan Herrera, probably their best offensive player, homers to dead center to make it 2-1. This was off of Anthony Banda. Later on, the Dodgers would tie it in the bottom of the 8th. Andy Pages, an RBI ground out that brought in Nestor Ruiz that tied the game. Of course, in the top of the 9th, the Cardinals would get some base runners on. Brock Stewart in to try to send it to the bottom of the 9th, tied up 2-2 with a runner on third, 2 outs. Yoel Pozo I believe he pinch hit, bloop sinker to right field, puts the Cardinals up 3-2. Just super frustrating. I could almost see it coming. Dodgers would rally in the 9th inning, but they were unable to bring in the tying run. Max Muncy stranded the tying run on base. He lined out to right field, and so the Dodgers lose. Cardinals win 3-2. Tyler Glasnow goes 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, which was on the home run, only 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Glasnow pitched very good. Of course, Sonny Gray, he also pitched good once again against the Dodgers. He goes 7 innings as well, 1 hit, 1 earned run, just like Tyler Glasnow, 1 earned run on the homer, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. So very similar lines. The Dodgers offense has been very hit or miss lately, and it's been mostly miss. Now, the pitching has been a lot better, but the Dodgers haven't been able to kind of put together a full game at once. Really frustrating stuff. But it does continue really good stuff from Tyler Glasnow since he's come off the IL. One of the bigger keys for them going forward for sure. He threw 101 pitches. He was averaging 96.5 in this game. So his velocity has continued to kind of come up from where it was before he got injured. Only had 10 whiffs in this game, so it wasn't the most dominant stuff in terms of his swing and miss. He only gave up that 1 home run to Mason Wynn, 5 whiffs on his curveball, 3 on the slider, 2 on the four-seamer. He didn't get any on the sinker, but like I said, he went 7 innings, 101 pitches. Shohei, Yamamoto, a lot of these guys continue to pitch good. We saw Blake Snell return. So he has his ERA down to 3.06. But obviously the story of this game and the key is that the Dodgers offense once again didn't do anything. They had Freddie Freeman show up, hit a solo home run, had some base runners in the 9th inning, but just couldn't get that final hit. At the end of the day, they gave Tyler Glasnow a little bit more run support. They gave the bullpen a little bit more run support. Would have had a chance to win this game ultimately, but it didn't happen. I'm going to dive into some of the numbers of their offense and their pitching as of late. It was a frustrating game. Dodgers have won last few series, so all you got to do is come back, win the next 2. The Cardinals aren't that great of a team, so we'll go to the game 2. The game 1 was it was a downer. I tweeted out one of the bigger kick in the nuts games because Dodgers actually had some hard hit balls in the game, and the Cardinals did not. They had a lot of bloopers that fell in, so really a game that they could have / should have won. But we'll go to game 2. So going into this game, I actually tweeted out some numbers about the Dodgers pitching the last couple months and their offense. And one of the things I kind of said in there, I'll talk about it after this game, was how the bats needed to wake up. Because the Dodgers pitching, specifically the starting pitching and the bullpen, has been much better the last couple months, really the last month, but the offense just hasn't been there. So I called out the Dodgers offense, and they did respond in this game. They're going up against Miles Michaelis, so Freddie Freeman gets the Dodgers on the board on a sac fly. That was in the bottom of the first. And then Max Muncy, he homers, so of course Max Muncy came off the IL. Dodgers have been really cold ever since Max Muncy pretty much got injured. And the offense has really missed him. He goes deep, so makes his impact right away, 2-0 Dodgers. Cardinals would actually respond. Emmett Sheehan is the starting pitcher in this game. Nolan Gorman, he hits a 2-run homer to tie up the game. So it's immediately tied up 2-2. But the Dodgers would respond. Max Muncy, another home run. This time it's a 2-run homer. Makes it 4-2 Dodgers. Then Teoscar Hernandez hits a solo home run, so it's now 5-2 Dodgers. Later in the 7th, Ivan Herrera would hit a single to make it, now it's a 5-3 game. But then another Max Muncy RBI makes it 6-3. Then Teoscar Hernandez hit the dagger. He hits a 3-run homer to make it 9-3 Dodgers. So his second home run of the game. Alex Freeland would tally on another RBI to make it 10-3. Later on, Freddie Freeman would hit another sac fly, and then Michael Conforto brought in an RBI. Cardinals were able to scratch a few runs in the 9th, but the Dodgers would win by a score of 12-6. So this was the game you're looking for. Obviously, you're not going to score 12 runs every night, but a lot of guys contributing, a lot of guys making hard contact. Emmett Sheehan, like I said, he was the starting pitcher in this game. He goes 5 innings, 0 earned runs, and 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. I mean, Sheehan pitched pretty solid. The last time he actually pitched in Cincinnati, there was a play by Andy Pajes that got changed to an error, and that actually caused Sheehan's ERA to drop. So his ERA is now into an even 3. So he's pitched really good. Didn't love that the bullpen allowed some runs. The bullpen has been very good as of late. Like I said, going into this game, the pitching staff had been good. Dodgers finally brought the bats to the field, but then Gasparius allowed an earned run. Alexis Diaz allowed 3 earned runs. So the bullpen ERA definitely went up. But at the end of the day, the Dodgers got to win. And what was the biggest thing about this game was how many guys contributed. So Shohei had 2 hits. But really the 3 guys were Mookie Betts. He had 3 hits. Max Muncy had 4 hits, including 2 home runs. Teoscar Hernandez had 3 hits, including 2 home runs. And then Andy Pajes and Alex Freeland both had 2 hits. The most exciting thing was probably Mookie Betts, actually, that he had a 3-hit game, a couple extra base hits, hit the ball hard a lot. We've talked about it all year. This is the worst year of Mookie Betts' career offensively. So the fact that he was able to, boost his numbers a little bit is great. And we hope it leads to, some more hits. Max Muncy, I put it out on X. It's kind of incredible how valuable he is to the Dodgers lineup. I mean, his presence was felt. 2 home runs, another RBI single. Immediately just feels like he changes the whole lineup. And it's really impressive considering the start he got off to in April. Wasn't really sure what the future was looking like for him. He turned it around completely, and now he's showing how valuable he is. He has his OPS up to 861 after that game. Teoscar Hernandez, he cashed in 2 home runs. That's huge to see. I think I kind of put him and Tommy Edman in the same boat that they've been battling injuries all year. I think Teoscar and Tommy Edman's numbers would be a lot better if it wasn't for their injuries. Teoscar's kind of battled a hamstring all year, I feel. Now, I'm not saying that he would be having a all-star caliber season or something like that, but I think that he's really has not benefited from being kind of dinged up all year. I think his numbers would be better. He does have 17 home runs now. His numbers are above league average, so the Teoscar heater would be great. Andy Paz is another guy who's kind of struggled as of late, so seeing him throw out 2 hits is nice. And then Alex Freeland, kind of the last guy I'll talk about. We'll talk about him, unfortunately, in the 3rd game for something he did. But he's looked pretty good with the bat so far. If you don't know much about Alex Freeland, again, I talked about him in my podcast that it didn't get posted. One of the Dodgers' top prospects, natural shortstop, who has seen time at 3rd. Right now he's going to get some run at second base with the Tommy Edman injury, as well as Hae-Sung Kim. Switch hitter, looks really athletic. Actually looks pretty good with the bat, so he might be the Dodgers' shortstop of the future. I think he's definitely a part of their future plans. I like him. We'll see if he sticks around. He, unfortunately, because of the roster, he might be one of those guys that, regardless of how well he plays, when some guys come off the IL, he might just get sent down regardless. He's not necessarily in that boat of, if you play well, you'll stay up here. I don't think so. But you never know. He's looked pretty good so far. So, Mookie, you love to see that. You love to see any good stuff. So hopefully it leads to him finishing out the year really strong. Freddie Freeman has been very hot for a little while now, a couple weeks. He played really well against the Rays. Played really well in this series. Didn't get a hit in this game, but he's been really good. Obviously, Max Muncy comes back. We'll see if he continues to kind of be that savior in the lineup. Since he's been gone, the lineup's been really cold. Obviously, those Teoscar homers. So it was a really good offensive performance. The Dodgers had 17 hits. Like I said, obviously the 12 runs. They only had 3 walks and only 8 strikeouts. The Dodgers have been punching out a lot lately. So a game where they only strike out 8 times, you would like to see even less, but that's going to really help. So a lot of the offensive numbers. So what I wanted to talk about in terms of the pitching and hitting. So we kind of know all year Dodgers have had so many injuries that I think it's really affected their pitching. They haven't had a great pitching staff overall, the starting and the bullpen. But we know the Dodgers rotation has been getting healthier. They're now finally at a point where they have Snell, Ohtani, Glasnow, Yamamoto, Kershaw, Sheehan all in a rotation. The only guy missing is basically Roki Sasaki. We'll see if he comes back. Dodgers rankings, July 12th is the day Tyler Glasnow made his return. The Dodgers are third overall in team ERA. In almost a full month, they have the third best team ERA. The team has been pitching much better, especially the bullpen. That helps as well. Starting pitching ERA, they are sixth in starting pitching ERA in that time. And then in bullpen ERA, they are sixth. So like I said, overall, when you combine that as a pitching staff, it's third. So they've been a top 10 pitching team in baseball the last month. That's what you've been waiting for. That's the rotation the Dodgers dreamed of at the beginning of the year. But unfortunately, what coincides with that is the offense. So in the same amount of time, July 12th, which is almost a full month, OPS rankings, the Dodgers are 17th in baseball. Now, it gets a little bit boosted by the game they had on Saturday. Because going into that game, the game on Tuesday when they scored 12 runs, because before that game, they were 25th. So they were a bottom five offense in baseball the last month. Really, you can look at once Tyler Glasnow has come back, obviously other guys have joined him, but the rotation's been in a much better spot, as well as the bullpen. The offense, ever since Max Muncy went down, has been very bad. One of the worst offenses in baseball. Now, they've been able to float by, but the Dodgers we know how bad they struggled in July, and they haven't got off to the best start in August. It's still early. I still have confidence that they're going to get hot in the month of August and then eventually September, but it hasn't happened yet. So far, it is August 6th. They've played 6 games. They are 3-3. So about 500. They are 500. So the Blue Jays will be coming into town this weekend. So we'll talk about that. So we'll go into Game 3. So the vibes got a lot higher going into Game 3. Max Muncy's back. Like I said, you're going to have Shohei on the mound Sunday. A lot of guys showed up offensively. If you can have the bats show up just enough in Wednesday's game, you can take the series, win another series, go into the weekend. This game, like I said, is Shohei Ohtani versus Matthew Liberatore, the left-hander for the Cardinals. So the Cardinals got on the board first on a bunt single by Brennan Donovan. There was an error earlier in this inning. Miguel Rojas dropped the ball in the sun. So the Cardinals go up 1-0, but then Shohei Ohtani hits a home run to dead center. His 39th of the year, puts the Dodgers up 2-1, so he helps his own cause. Later on in the 5th, there was a weird play. Andy Pages was trying to steal third. The catcher, Pedro Pages, came up throwing and threw the ball into the bat of Miguel Rojas, who was standing in the box. So the throw got away. Dodgers were able to cash in a run. They go up 3-1. In the 8th inning, Alex Vesia comes in. This is where it fell apart. A leadoff single to Alec Burleson. Lars Nootbaar would fly out to center to get the next out, but then Mason Wynn, after like a 10-pitch at-bat, singles to left. Vesia was able to get the next out, so it's 2 outs. Vesia's thrown a lot of pitches, hasn't gotten a single swing and miss. The Cardinals were really kind of on his stuff. Probably could have went to Brock Stewart here against the young right-handed hitting Jordan Walker. He bloops a single into left center. Tying run scores. Runner going to third. Pages throws the ball to third. Jordan Walker, the back runner, the runner who hit the ball, is now trying to go from first to second. Alex Freeland, the third baseman, throws the ball into center field. And then the go-ahead run comes in. So just really sloppy baseball. I let out a groan when I was watching. Dodgers are 1 out away from getting out of the inning with the lead. Instead, because of a couple of just bad throws, bad plays, they give away the lead. The Cardinals would tally on another run in the 9th to make it 5-3, and they would win by a score of 5-3. Dodgers didn't do enough. Again, coming off the great game Tuesday, vibes high, just didn't show up in this game. Kind of just keeps this very just poor vibes. They've been better as of late. They were very bad in July. They have been better. They have been able to win some series at the end of July and early on here in August, but still continuing to just they're not able to get hot or anything like that. So Shohei was very good in this game. We talked about it before. He got taken out of his previous start early against the Reds because of cramping. He was going to go 4 innings. So the plan again was to go 4 innings today. He goes 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 0 walks, 8 strikeouts. And Justin Robleski also, he went 3 innings, gave up 1 earned run, but then it was Alex Vesia and Brock Stewart who kind of gave up the game, unfortunately. Quickly, Shohei Ohtani, he's got an ERA of 2.37 on the year. He's got 19 innings pitched. His stuff has just continued to be super electric. Again, I can't. It sucks the Dodgers somehow lost this game because I wanted to get on here and just talk about Ohtani and just electric stuff and 39 home runs. He's easily going to win a third straight MVP, all that, and I can't believe they lost that game. It's such a downer. Like, I'm so pissed that they lost that game, and just continue this poor stretch. But Shohei was absolutely electric. He only threw 54 pitches, was pounding the strikes down, like I said, no walks. His fastball was averaging 98.9 in this game. Again, he was averaging 98.9, so he's basically averaging 99 miles an hour a game. Topped out at 101. He was also able to get 14 whiffs in the game, a ton of swings and misses. Like I said, 8 strikeouts in only 4 innings. So if he was a little bit more built up and say he could have gone 6 innings or something like that, he probably gets like 12 strikeouts in this game or something, close to 20 whiffs. So absolutely electric. Again, he's just continued to back up what I've said. I've talked about it before. Yamamoto's been one of the best pitchers in the game this year, the Dodgers' best pitcher. Shohei's pitching so good, he might force their hand into giving him the ball in a potential Game 1 of a postseason series. So then he obviously hit the home run. He's just, it's incredible. So once again, not enough offense. So immediately when the Dodgers scored those 12 runs on Tuesday, one of my first thoughts is, well, you got to come out and win tomorrow, and especially put up a little bit of offense. Obviously, you don't have to score 12 runs, but you got to put up some offense and win the game, or else it's just going to feel like it was a little bit of a fluke. They came out, only scored 3 runs. 2 of them were on one swing by Shohei. Mookie did have a hit, another hit. It was a double. Freddie Freeman did have 3 hits, so he continues to be red hot. He's got his OPS up to 864. And then Alex Call, shout out to him. He gets the start against the lefty. He threw out 2 hits, made a couple nice plays in left field. I'm not going to kill Brock Stewart. He's been in the middle of it this series, both losses in this series. But he didn't give up many hard hit balls. I think the only hard hit ball he's given up was against Lars Nootbaar, who kind of killed the Dodgers in this series. Other than that, Stewart's been really good. Now, he struggles mightily against lefties, and he's continued that so far in a Dodgers uniform. It looks like that's going to be kind of a thing with Stewart, that you don't really want to face lefties. This was a game that kind of goes on Dave Roberts for me. I usually don't say that. I'm usually someone it's on the players, but he left Vesia out there too long in that inning. I know Vesia's been your best reliever, so I'm not going to kill Vesia. There were some people on Twitter going off on him. Someone actually commented on an old video of mine on Instagram of Vesia talking about him. I mean, he's been their best reliever all year. Dominant stuff. One of the better relievers in the game. He just didn't have it today. That's what happens sometimes. You're not going to kill. This would be stupid to kill Vesia. But he didn't have it today. It was obvious. He was getting no swings and misses. A lot of long at-bats. Mason Wynn had like a 10-pitch at-bat. Couldn't put him away. Then he got a single in that at-bat. And then you left Vesia in to face Walker, who already had 2 hits in that game. Probably should have went to Brock Stewart there, who kills right-handed batters. Left him in too long, trying to get him through the game. They probably wanted Treinen to close out the 9th or something like that, maybe Brock Stewart, but they just waited too long. He waited too long, and it kind of killed them there. So that was a poorly managed game by Dave Roberts, I think. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the offense. I gave you guys the numbers. In the month of July, pretty much ever since Max Muncy went down, it all coincides with Muncy. I mean, if you guys remember going into July, the Dodgers were playing great. They were red hot, pretty much had the best record in the game. They were the best offense in the game at that point. And what you were just waiting for at that point was for guys to come back and the pitching to get healthy. The unfortunate thing is that the bottom fell out. And by the bottom, I mean the offense. The offense has gone missing. Mookie went from having, a poor league average season to now he's fallen way below league average. Teoscar struggled. Freddie Freeman was really cold. And the offense just dipped mightily once he got hurt. So at the end of the day, the offense has to turn this around. I believe they will. This was a funky series. It's kind of similar to some series they played lately with the Twins when they had that comeback win, and then the Boston Red Sox, where you win a game, you lose a game, and then you have one game that if you would have put up just a little bit more offense, you win that game, then you have a series win, you're coming out of it feeling good. The Red Sox series and this series against the Cardinals are kind of the opposite of that Twin series, where you don't do enough in that final game, you end up coming out of it with a series loss and a bad feeling. So right now, unfortunately, the Dodgers are not able to get their bats hot consistently. They're kind of unable, like I said at the beginning, to put it all together at one time. They haven't been able to do that yet. In the first half of the season, pretty much, I know, like I said, they stumbled going into the break, but pretty much by most accounts, in the first half of the year, they were the best offense in baseball. The second half has started really, like I said, the last month, they've been one of the better pitching teams, but the offense has fallen off. You got to put it all together. I wouldn't mind trading some offense for good pitching, because the Dodgers were elite offensively, but bad pitching-wise. So maybe if you were able to, come down a little bit to say the fifth best offense in baseball, but have a top 10 pitching team, I would take that. At the end of the day, players just have to play better. We saw the Dodgers in the postseason last year. They didn't necessarily have great starting pitching, and it won them a World Series. What they kind of relied on was great offense and a good bullpen. They didn't really rely on innings from the starters. They did get some good starts. If you go back to that postseason, Yamamoto in Game 5 against the Padres, Jack Flaherty pitched well in both Game 1s against both New York teams. Walker Buehler had some good starts, Yamamoto, but they didn't get a lot of innings, and they didn't get many dominant starts. What they just had was an offense that didn't let you breathe. Consistently coming back, putting up more runs, taking their walks, big innings, not striking out too much, stuff like that, 2-hour RBIs. Right now, they're just not doing it completely. They're not putting together this full team approach. The last couple of weeks, the bullpen's been very good. This series against the Cardinals, it was not. Fell apart. What sucks about lately is that they have a very good game, a very poor game, and then a game that was very winnable. Sometimes they win by the skin of their teeth, like a couple of games that they won in Tampa. And then some games they don't come back, like they did against the Reds, or in this game against the Cardinals. I think they're on the break of getting hot. I know I've been saying that, but they're so close. Pitching has been better. The bullpen, I know it was bad in this series, but I believe in the bullpen to get better. The starting pitching, again, you had Tyler Glasnow, Emmett Sheehan, Shohei Ohtani start these games. You're going to have Kershaw go Friday, Snell on Saturday, Yamamoto on Sunday. The pitching is there, and they're pitching good. Snell, if you look at all the numbers, all of them have an ERA in the 3 years or lower. Nobody has pitched bad. Kershaw is very well. Yamamoto, all of them have been great so far, especially Glasnow and Shohei. And the bullpen as of late, you just need the offense to do its part. We saw Max Muncy come back. He's been great. Will Smith, we know he's been great all year. He's been a little quiet the last few series, but he's been great all year. Freddie Freeman's turned it on. He's got his OPS back in the high 800s. Conforto, I haven't talked about him. He's been great the last month. Much better. He's been one of their better bats the last month. Teoscar got a little hot in this series. Andy Pages threw out more hits. They're so close. They're so close. Mookie Betts had a few hits in this series. Got to put it together for one series. They're so close. They're hovering around. There's a lot of teams like the Dodgers right now who are just kind of hovering around. They're in first place. The Padres are on their tail. They have one of the better records in baseball. I think it's going to be very similar to last year, where they were kind of hovering around all year, like not an elite team, but not a bad team by any means. A pretty good, solid first-place team. Then they took off in the second half, especially August, September, and that helped them win the division, have the best record in baseball. I still think that's in there for the Dodgers. I think that's going to happen. Can't have so many of these quiet games, especially because the Dodgers have been playing a lot of close games as of late. A lot of close games. There's been a lot of games they win by the skin of their teeth, and then games that they don't come back and they lose. Haven't seen as many comeback wins as of late. The Dodgers have the most comeback wins in baseball this year. So they're so close. They're so close. Mookie's at bats have looked better. Teoscar, he's been hitting the ball hard. Freddie's on fire. What they kind of need right now is Shohei to kind of heat back up. He's always hit really well consistently, but he's been striking out a little bit later. They would benefit so much from a Shohei heater right now. If you could pair his hot bat with Shohei and Freddie, better at bats for Mookie. So you guys get what I'm saying. It's just frustrating. There's been a lot of winnable games as of late. Haven't swept many teams at all this season, really, but especially as of late. So there's still a chance to get hot. They've only played 2 series in August so far. I predicted they're going to get hot. They're going to have a heavy task because they have the best team in the American League coming into LA Friday, the Toronto Blue Jays. Kind of an interesting team. We're going to break them down, give you all the info on them, but they have pretty much, them and the Brewers have been the hottest teams in baseball the last couple months. Here it is, Dodgers. You have the hottest team in baseball coming into your town, into your ballpark, and then you're going to have to play the Padres after that. So we've been seeing guys getting better, hotter. I like their roster right now. Even with some of the injuries, I like it. You just got to get hot. They got to put it together. They're so close. So that's all I have for you guys. I'm going to stop rambling. This series kind of sucked in the end, but there were positives to take away from it. There were positives. They are so close to getting hot. Do not be surprised if they win the series against the Blue Jays, maybe even sweep. They're so close. So, as always, thank you guys for listening. I'm going to try to preview the Blue Jays. I'm going to preview the Dodgers Blue Jays series this weekend. That should be a good one. 2 of the better teams in baseball this year. Maybe it'll be a World Series preview. Who knows? Thank you guys for listening. As always, you can get this podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications. Follow us on social media at Talking Blue Pod. Myself at Talking Blue Nick. Tweeting throughout all the games and stuff. You can go see my misery on there, my happy thoughts, all of it. And Reddit, competitive-week 8715. Thank you guys for listening. We will be back to preview Dodgers Blue Jays.